grants of $1.2 million and better for everyone nationwide, as long as you diligently follow each of the principles that I lay out. Watch this video until the end and adopt the same objective that I have set for myself, and let's scroll on the back of my forehead so my third eye directs every single part of my mind, body, and soul to verbalize what I want to manifest. What can I do for you? How can I be of service to my neighbor from a broader and even biblical perspective? That is what always works. Fulfill his, with a capital H, will before ours. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Your problem, as I have noted after speaking with many of you time and time again, is that you solely want to serve yourself. If your memory serves you, if not, go ahead and watch the library of videos. Click the subscribe button and click the bell notification to stay on top of every grant-taking application and opportunity that I encounter. I told you about a grant opportunity that was funding people who had a strategy
to lower high energy costs
in rural areas. It clearly read on the notice on grants.gov, this is not for households. It's not to serve yourselves.
But promise me that you will not let that line disqualify you, for all major businesses and projects such as the one you're seeing built right here are launched by who? By people, by households, just like you. Yes, you, my beloved viewer.
You have to be able to formulate a plan, get
infrastructure that will allow lower energy costs
to other people, to regions. You have to upgrade your mindset. How am I going to serve the broader part of this country to ensure that they are living fulfilling, happy, and productive lives? That is what you have to keep in mind. I worked with the 2012 Barack Obama presidential campaign. If you read through the column on Forbes, my column, you can consume the probably most efficient and lucrative networking case study that I have seen on the web. I describe exactly the people that I got in front of, the platforms that I built, how I tightly knit relationships with key people that introduced me to other people, that allowed me to get with a magazine that was embryonic. In other words, it welcomed no traffic and took it to become the leader in the Latina mother space, ahead of other popular publications, iconic Cosmopolitan Latina, NBC Latina, and it got on the radar of the 2012 Barack Obama presidential campaign. It's all public record, and we helped them get elected. That's a $200,000 retainer. So the same principles, after partnering with a nonprofit leader with whom I'll be working, and if you want to learn how you can get his advice to ensure that you bring your mission to life, everything that you visualize for your project, go ahead and join our wait list. The link is in the video description below. If you do not know, you better ask somebody. I've helped raise tens of millions of dollars for America's entrepreneurs through this channel. You heard about Judith Koger's testimonial, $120,000 federal grant, how she is stating, and with good cause, that I am helping free financially the Black community with the information that I have provided on this particular channel. The list goes on and on and on. And if we have an opportunity to work together, if we are a right fit, you get through the application process, we may be able to work together, and I can go ahead and drop the jewels and the science in partnership with, again, this nonprofit leader who has raised over $1.2 million for his organization. Now, don't click the back button as yet. That's for nonprofits. You drop in source only for nonprofits. No, that is not the case here. The key thing, first and foremost, is that you have to find a way how you can take your organization and serve the broader community so people can pay you for it. Now, if you want to start a nonprofit, better, because now you have a target to which people who have money can deploy their capital. They get tax write-offs as a result. Now, if you do not have a nonprofit and you see an opportunity for which only nonprofits are eligible, then you can partner with that nonprofit through something called a fiscal sponsorship. They take a cut of the award that you are granted, and it's like about 5 to 15%. But listen, you're still getting 95, 90%, 85% of something is better than 100% of absolutely zero. And you can start your nonprofit. I'll just give you an example. Let's say you have a barber shop, for instance, right? How can you serve the community? I have seen people who are barbers on the web go viral and attract broad and expansive popularity by simply cutting homeless people's hair. And they're giving them makeovers absolutely for free. That can be a proposal. Now, you have to learn how to network. How do you get in front of people? Read through the column. If you need the link, I'll go ahead and provide, join the list. I'll give you the link to the spreadsheet. Like I told you, if you just want resources, I mean, I have a countless amount of resources. These are applications. Now, the sauce that I'm dropping here today, and I will be dropping, and the gems that my man that I am telling you has raised over $1.2 million, is shooting to raise $10 million within the next, I believe it's 2 or 3 years or so. I have the whole plan. I can go ahead and show you. You have to get to these opportunities even before they're posted. I'm going to give you the drop on that. First off, again, read through the Forbes article. You see how I network. How can you put yourself in front of key people, or perhaps even people who know those key people? Because that is what happened with the Barack Obama presidential campaign. I built a relationship with an educational organization out in New York, and I spoke before their students. I held a class, and one of the students in that class, they sent one of their peers, which is the editor of this magazine, to another class that I held with the New York City Small Business Services Division. And I was donating my time to do that. You've got to learn, okay, how can I deliver value? Just by me being on Forbes, you may ask, how'd you get on Forbes? I drove tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, unique visitors, and made tens of thousands of dollars for Forbes before they even wrote one check. I met with the executive editor. I proposed to meet in some spot that was similar to a diner out in downtown Manhattan. And he was like, we could do better than that. He took me to a spot where he bought me a fish that probably cost, I don't know, $40, $50, whatever the case, some salmon and a salad. Then he asked me straight up and down, what can I do to help you deliver so much value? And they're just like, man, you're hooking me up, man. What can I do for you? Understand? That's the echo that I always get from people. They're like, what can I do for you? And listen, I just told him, I want to write for Forbes. He's like, what? He's like, you can write? And I was like, I studied journalism in NYU. He didn't even know. I didn't apply for this. I'd have to show my portfolio. I'd have to show a cover letter, nothing. A week later, I write an article for Forbes, and they're cutting a check for $2,000, getting paid like 2 cents a click, because it got like 200,000 views. I drove mad traffic and made them more money. I was the only independent contributor on Forbes that actually got paid as a result of adopting this mindset. What can I do for you? So how can you do this to win grant money? First things first, you want to go ahead and contact your elected officials. Visit usa.gov/elected officials. This is somewhere on the grant spreadsheet, if I'm not mistaken, the Small Business Resources tab right here. It's right here. Yep. Line 15, find and contact elected officials. So I'll just go ahead and add my Blizznock, 13828 90th Avenue, right? Jamaica, New York, 11435. Bang. Find my elected officials. This is my stomping grounds from way back in the day. And right here, let me see, federal, state, local. You start with local because they're more accessible. You can go for federal if you want. Look, my Queensboro president. How many people that you see on the web regularly speaking in front of Queensboro presidents? Well, not Queensboro. Well, yeah, the borough presidents, the city council. Look, Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz. What are these people doing? What are they promoting? Go ahead. So if I wanted to network with these people, I wanted to meet them, right? First off, I'll visit this website, and this is him. Hello and welcome to the Queensboro president's office to contact. Take a look at the news section. What are they trying to promote? What initiatives do they want to push that will put them in the best position for them to excel in their careers, right? Are they going to run for mayor? I don't know. We've made monumental progress these last few weeks to put an end to police brutality. Oh, this is 2020. Okay, so this is kind of dated. But I mean, even if I tell you what you could do with this opportunity back in 2020, right? So ending police brutality. Do you have a plan, a proposal to end police brutality, perhaps to fund neighborhood crime watches or to fund places where you can have the community speak to police officers so they can build tightly knit relationships? Do you need money to rent out a space where these meetings can happen, where you can speak or you can have people speak to supervisors of local police departments and they can keep people informed? How can you help reduce crime, help police officers reduce crime, right? You set these plans in motion. Now you have artificial intelligence that can go ahead and structure these proposals for you, and then you add exactly what you want to do. Just let the artificially intelligent large language models fix up the verbiage for you and present it. I mean, find out exactly what they want to do. This is what they want to push. Ending police brutality back in 2020, nonetheless. But perhaps this gentleman right here, 4 hours, another day, another step towards true park equity. That's exactly what yesterday's groundbreaking for the new and improved William F. Moore Park in Corona was, as we work to give the families of this community the top-notch open space it has always deserved. Proud to work with alongside the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation, Council Member Francisco Moya. Since taking office, I have put nearly $44 million in investment into Queens parks. You see where the money's going? Into Queens parks. Perhaps he wants to do more for the parks. Do you have a plan to put pull-up bars and put workout equipment in these parks, like you have found to be effective in other countries, for instance? They have workout equipment in Colombia, for instance, that I have not seen here. Like there's machines for you to do squats. You use your own body weight. They have like these pulleys and stuff. That could be something that you can develop yourself. You propose it to this gentleman, and this is a plan that you can go ahead and execute as long as you get the capital. Now, when they're talking about plans, this is already done, but perhaps there's still parts. I know in New York City, there's a lot of open space where you can develop more parks. Understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what your mission is right now. How can you adapt your mission to ensure you serve people? Let's say if you have a food truck and you want grants for your food truck, are you serving food to the homeless? Are you ensuring that kids get meals at schools? For instance, all you need is the funding to do so, to ensure if you see that that is a problem, right? That you're serving kids free of charge. This is how you're serving the community. Everything that dovetails off of what they want to accomplish. What do they want to show? What were their campaign promises? Go ahead and take a look. You have the World Wide Web. Perhaps there are things on which they are still working and they can tell you about it. So you could work with the Queens Borough President. You go to the city officials, Mayor of New York City, Eric L. Adams, New York City Comptroller, Brad Linda, New York Public Advocate, New York City Council Member, James Gennaro. Let's go ahead and take a look at what my man Gennaro is up to. I'm proud to stand with my New York City Council colleagues in calling for action to prevent a devastating child care crisis in New York City. Without additional funding, 60,000 children are at risk of losing their child care vouchers, leaving thousands of families struggling to work and provide for their children. So in this particular case, what can you provide? Can you provide housing for these 60,000 children? Do you have a better solution? Do you have a way that will facilitate the process of this person actually obtaining that funding from the Honorable Kathy Hochul? And remember, don't get caught up on I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. It has nothing to do with that. It all has to do with where the paper lies. Again, I did that for the Obama campaign. I also worked for Trump before the politics nonetheless. But listen, Trump, you got to check for me. I got you. Get you reelected again. We got to change the Constitution. I got you. Understand what I'm saying? if there is a check involved. I'm not sure if I told you this, but when I got the $4,000 from New York State to get my CDL, I wanted to first apply for a grant to study network engineering. I thought that that was something I want to do, work on computers, right? Let me learn how to work with computers. I didn't know how to mess with them at that point. The grant administrator at the Workforce Center asked me, even on the low, are you sure that you want to become a network engineer? Are you applying for a grant to become a network engineer because that is what you want to do? I was like, yeah, I want to do network engineering. I love computers, yada, 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 because the state is mostly approving grants for people who want to become CDL drivers. I was like, whatever. I was living well below the poverty line at that juncture in my life. So I was like, I'll go for the CDL Class A. I went for the CDL Class A, not for the B. I was like, I might as well get the Class A CDL, and bang, I got the grant, $4,000. I had my CDL, I had to surrender it because I started speeding a couple of years ago. And that's another story that I got out of because I networked with that community. I was contributing. I was facing like a year in jail because I was speeding, but I contributed to the community. I donated to the kids about $200-300 worth of basketballs, gave lunch to the local police department, and I was able to walk with about 4 hours that they had me spend inside the courthouse out in Virginia. Okay, so I can tell you more about that, and all that as well is public record. It's all about making those connections. How were people back in the hood talking about? This is what they used to say back on my block. The only way that you can get a good job is if you got the hookup. So I said, well, let me go ahead and get the hookup. I only roll, if it's not with my family, with people with whom I can operate. I got a job with CBS as a result. I got a job with AOL as a result of that same practice of working with people. I got commissioned to speak nationwide. And this is the same way that you get grants. Even before they start to post these opportunities, think about, listen, how can I help the community with what I can do? Understand? And that is where you put yourself in the best position to win grants, to win government contracts. I'll give you another example. The President of the United States, Donald Trump. The reason that he's president, he became friends with the richest person on the planet. Elon Musk paid him $250 million to ensure he had enough money to campaign himself. Who knows where he diverted those funds to do all kinds of favors, to put him in a position where, listen, all of his legal troubles, this dude, mad felony counts, if it would have been me or you, he's probably helping people, who knows, at the DA's office. Listen, you get this, I get that, knock off these charges, ensure that the president, listen, even getting acquitted twice when he was impeached, who knows what types of favors he had to yank. They let him do his town hall in Florida. He got to stay in Florida. They did not like him in New York, and they let him be the king of Florida. He's a man that, regardless of what you think of him, he knows how to make connections. And everyone who has been successful, whether they're Democrat, whether they're Republican, whether they're independent, if you see them there, it's because they know how to tightly knit connections, how to make friends. We are in the business of making friends. And I repeat it, regardless of whether it sounds redundant, because that's all it takes. Now, again, what happens when you approach a friendship, when you want to become friends with somebody? How do you deliver value? Understand? I communicate in front of people. I drop sauce and I tell you how to get this grant, how to run this side hustle, how to build your websites, how to do this, how to do that. And I have delivered so much value that there are people that are willing to work with me without even knowing what is my service offering. They're closing me. How can I work with you? Understand? Put yourself in that position. You could do it using social platforms. Again, I learned how to use social news aggregators to drive traffic to whatever website that I wanted. I once, again, going back to that speeding incident, I drove traffic to a story that showed a young man actually chopping wood for the people of a county out in VA. And that was something that I slapped on my portfolio, volunteered for the Department of Defense and the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory. Again, part of the portfolio. I got an endorsement. It's all public record coming from a think tank, coming from PhDs that are saying, listen, this guy, he was driving tens of thousands to millions of unique visitors to our platform. That builds your portfolio. Now you have credentials, third-party credibility indicators that show that not only you are saying you are awesome at what you do, but other people are confirming it on your behalf. Watch the video you see on the screen right now so you can learn about every single grant taking and cash making opportunity that I encounter.